Hello, and welcome to the Thelma and Shannon show.
I'm Thelma.
And I'm Shannon.
There we go.
Now you know who we
Yeah,
are.
let's get that out of the way.
Who is who?
Yes.
You are you and I am me.
That's right.
So we're very excited to start the show.
Yes.
Because we have been talking about how awesome our conversations are for quite some time now, and we finally got brave enough, and like just as of today, basically,
yeah.
Thelma needed a little more coaxing, but we got brave enough to just actually stop talking about having our own show, and we just decided to do it. And so here we are, episode 1 of many.
Episode 1, yeah.
And
I think we're off to a great start.
Yes.
We're trying to set things up. We've talked a little bit about what we want to bring to you, but we also want to keep it fresh and real and honest.
And like in the moment.
In the moment.
I really struggle with scripted stuff or planned stuff or structured stuff, and like the magic for me happens in the moment when things just appear or thoughts appear or visuals appear and the conversation leads from there.
Yes.
And Thelma likes that too.
I do, and I'm excited to let go of that little planning part of myself because it's restrictive, I think. So what we want to talk about, we'll talk about. And if we feel that our experience and our understanding may be helpful to you, that's what we're about.
That's right. So we're here to learn from each other and to share with each other, but we're especially here to just share with you, and we would love to like get feedback and just get different thoughts and considerations from you as you're watching our conversations, and just like it's like get the conversation going and just get the ball rolling on truth talks basically and real talks and just anything that comes up is just where it's gonna go, and I'm so excited for that.
Well, I think to have a space where we can talk about our honest feelings and our experience is sadly lacking in this world.
And it's very needed.
So
very needed.
A space to be heard and understood, and the opportunity just to express yourself is really important. And the more that I do it, the more I like it.
Yes. And it's so true about having that safe space and that judgment-free zone.
Right. Yes.
And the compassion zone, if you want to word it that way, that like you and I very quickly had that with each other. As soon as we met, we just felt that there was just I always felt safe with you, and I feel that you felt that I was someone that you could be open and honest with as well.
Yes,
and
for sure.
Neither of us worried about, well, what's Thelma going to think? It's more like, I need to talk to Thelma. And so...
Well, and if we have had those opportunities, we have. And we just said, maybe, I'm not sure how to say this or whatever, but the space is there. And if we don't agree, that's okay too.
Yes, totally.
It's okay.
And sometimes we've called each other out on our own little shenanigans and our own little, like...
coping mechanisms.
Yes, or our own blinders. And it's like we love each other even more because we can do that for each other and be that person for each other.
Yes.
Because for a very long time in my life, like I didn't have anyone to call me out on my own BS, and it was people were afraid because my personality has been known to be very loud and very strong and very stubborn, and I think I intimidated a lot of people, even my own family, so sorry everybody, but it just is like there was the feeling that, well, I see this in Shannon, but I can't say anything to her. But Thelma and I have really been that for each other, where neither of us are afraid of each other because we're both equally stubborn and equally
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So we've become that for each other.
That's
it's
right.
like we're just helping each other see the truth of the situation and the truth of the experience, and like busting through the layers of poo-poo sometimes that we have been caught up in. And we're bringing that to you now, where through us doing that for each other, it's now opening the door for other people, and it's providing the space for that, for other people to join. Like, it's like, come on in, like, join the party, join the conversation. And it just feels so darn good to be able to bring what we've created to other people and bring it out into the world, rather than just you and I in private having conversations and having like these very honest, open, genuine moments with each other.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, and we have a space for comments, so if something we've said really resonates with you, we would love to hear what you think. And if it doesn't, we'd like to hear that too.
Yes. And feedback.
Feedback
like,
is
give
important.
us some feedback and share, like, even during the show, even during the show.
Oh, the show.
If we're speaking about something and you're like, oh, hey, and you want to add in your 2 cents, we will comment on that. If we see it during the recording, we will comment on it. We will build off of that. So we want this to be very interactive and very open and very just like a conversation. So Thelma and I are starting the conversation, but bringing other people into it is absolutely what we would love.
Well, and it's true. This is our perspective. We're putting our perspective out there, but we want to hear your perspective, because it isn't a one-way conversation, even though, unless we kind of find a way to advertise when we're going to do it, it's hard to comment live, but we really would appreciate your feedback, because we're doing this because we feel we have ideas and thoughts we'd like to share, but we also would like to learn something every time we post a video. So that's...
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought that we would take a couple minutes just to share how we met, and like just so that you feel like, you know, you might know me or you might know Thelma, but you don't know Thelma and Shannon. So it's just, or maybe you don't know either of us, and so this is a way for you to learn a little bit about us and how we came to be sitting here on the couch together talking to you today.
Okay.
So I think it was about 3 years ago,
around
there, 3.5. I was at a trade show, like, it was kind of like a body, mind, wellness trade show, and I had my little booth and all of my different displays and whatnot. And I remember Thelma, out of all the people that came, like, certain people really stuck in my mind that day, and Thelma was one of them. And luckily, so we chatted a little bit, but I remember, like, it was such a busy day for me that I don't even really remember our conversation, but I remember you. And so luckily, she left me with her name and email and phone number, and I contacted her after, and you came for a session to try like the different healing modalities that I have. And we just really hit it off from my perspective. I feel like we really hit it off. And so I'd love for you to share kind of like what you remember about meeting me, and then we'll continue. Okay. I don't want to go like too far down the road before you share your perspective.
Well, it was a really busy venue. There were a lot of crystals and oils and handmade things, really good positive vibes. There were different practitioners of different modalities practicing, and that was a really tough environment to offer energy work or settle into a treatment. And so Shannon was talking about Bodytalk, and I was somewhat familiar.
And it's for those of you that don't know, it's a healing modality that uses a lot of it's energy work and intuitive and a lot of like biofeedback, so muscle testing. So just for those of you who I know of, sometimes it sounds like a weight loss program like Bodytalk. So I wanted to clarify what Bodytalk is for those people that haven't heard of it before.
Well, I could have signed up for that.
Yeah.
Too, anyways. No, so usually when I go into a trade show like that, I kind of have to go all the way around and see what's there so I don't miss anything. But what I remember about Shannon was her absolute quivering energy about her. She maybe in another language I would say live wire.
Yes, yeah.
So I just felt her empathic nature. I felt her kindness. I felt that what she was saying, she had grounding and training in, but it was coming from her heart and her spirit. So that really connected with me, really resonated with me. And I felt like I wanted to know more about her. So.
Yay.
There.
That's super fun. Because I do remember also you had a guest with you.
Yes.
And I remember you telling me, I think it was like the first time that we met afterwards, you were like, well, the person that I was with, you were a little too much for her to handle. And she had trouble like with my vibe and with my energy.
Yeah.
But Thelma shared, Thelma was like, I could handle you. I could handle you. You were fine.
I can match you any day.
Yes. And because I do come off as being very intense, and that can sometimes like kind of like, whoa, with people. But you can handle me. So I appreciate that.
Well, I think we're a little bit yin and yang.
Yeah.
So we balance each other out.
But also two peas in a pod.
True.
Right? Yeah. Like so often there's been like, oh, well, I have this going on right now. And it's like, well, I have this going on right now, which is basically the same thing, just with different storylines attached. So we balance each other, but yet we also like are very much on the same wavelength and the same journey.
Yes.
Of healing, or the journey of self-discovery as each other, which is really interesting.
And there is an age difference.
No.
But we're at different sort of stages of life.
Yeah.
But inevitably, if we connect, I'll refer to something, whether it's to do with the moon or my own family, or that's happening with me too.
Yeah.
And so we talk about the dynamics around it and the opportunities to learn and grow from each other.
Usually we need to be learning the same lesson.
Yeah.
Like it's helpful to connect with someone who's also in a phase of needing to learn the same lesson that you are, that the universe is giving you the same lesson as someone else, because it's not as confusing then. Because I found that so many times we learn from each other, right? And help each other with the lesson. And
it is true. Sometimes it's more palatable to see something in someone else and think, I think that's really me, and I might need to work on that.
There's a mirror. Yeah. There's a mirror.
And so we've been able to overcome limiting beliefs.
Really big stuff. Really big stuff.
In a safe space, but also as equals. So we talk and share, and it's... Well, and I have to say, I was a client, but then we decided, well, who's going to pay you?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
it was a sharing relationship. It just, like, we had to take it right out of the office.
Yes, we did. And that, because, like, I was working with Thelma, but then I was learning so much from her, and she would share insights back to me that I was like, well, that's relevant in my own life. Yeah. So literally, that's what it was. Like, by the end of the session, it was like, well, we would joke, like, well, I'm not sure who's supposed to pay who for what, because we've both helped each other.
Yes.
And so we just decided to be friends. That's basically...
Well, we decided to be friends. we continue to share, but we wanted to share on a bigger scale. So
Yes.
that's the idea for the Thelma and Shannon show.
That's right. And it is a show because, like, we're just, I don't know, it's a show. It is a show. There was no other way to frame what we've got going on than it's a show. And it's, like, we're both a little bit zippy, and we're both a little bit, I was like, what words can I use? We're a bit sharp.
Yes.
With the tongue, like a little bit sharp with the tongue, and a little bit like sarcastic, and a little bit stubborn, and we're very entertaining, actually. Like, I just feel,
and again,
like,
with the
maybe
different
you guys
stages,
don't think that, but
it's funny because when we talked about this, I said, well, I'm no Carol Burnett, but I'm still funny. And Shannon referred to Ellen. So that just shows the difference in our experience. So
in our genres.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're friends that are coming together to make new connections and make new friends, and just, it's a show about life. Like, I just feel like it's a life show.
We just want to put it out there.
That's right.
That's what we're offering. We're asking you to bring us into your space, have a listen, and share your perspective.
Definitely. And who knows, maybe we'll all learn a little something from each other as we progress down the trail of the Thelma and Shannon show. So I think we'll wrap it up as that, and we're just going to keep recording, and whatever comes, and whatever we share, and we can't wait to connect with you guys. So see you. Ciao for now is what's coming to me right now.
Okay, so take care and keep in touch.
Definitely. See you soon.